Welcome back to EQ Bloom, where we explore the science of emotional wellness one video at a time. Today we're tackling something that nearly everyone experiences yet few people understand: overthinking. You might think it's just a bad habit, but overthinking is actually a form of cognitive looping that physically reshapes your brain through a process called neuroplasticity. So how does it all work? And how can we break the cycle before it breaks us? Let's dive in. Inside your brain, two major networks are at play: the prefrontal cortex, which helps with logical thinking and planning, and the default mode network, or DMN, which becomes active when your mind is at rest. The DMN is where introspection, daydreaming, and self-reflection happen, but it's also where rumination, worry, and self-criticism take root when overactive. During overthinking, the DMN doesn't just activate, it loops. You replay conversations, rehearse worst-case scenarios, or obsess over what you should have done differently. Neuroscientists have found that people with anxiety or depression often show hyperconnectivity in the DMN, meaning their brain becomes stuck in a repetitive feedback loop that's hard to escape. Meanwhile, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision making and impulse control, may be suppressed, making it harder to interrupt those thought spirals with logic. Here where it gets even more interesting. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you repetitively do or think, a process called neuroplasticity. When you overthink the same negative thoughts like "I'm not good enough" or "what if something bad happens," those pathways get reinforced. Think of it like walking through grass. The more you walk the same trail, the more the grass wears down until it becomes a path. Neurons that fire together wire together, so repetitive thoughts create stronger, faster neural connections. Eventually, these become your brain's default modes of processing. That's why overthinking becomes automatic. Even emotionally neutral moments might trigger anxiety loops because your brain has been conditioned to default to them. That's why catching thought loops early and disrupting them is so important, not just for mental clarity, but to prevent long-term structural changes in your brain. Overthinking doesn't just affect your mind, it triggers a physiological stress response. When your brain perceives a threat, even if it's imaginary, your hypothalamus signals your adrenaline glands to release cortisol, the stress hormone. This activates your sympathetic nervous system, preparing you for fight or flight. Your heart rate increases, muscles tighten, and digestion slows. Meanwhile, cortisol floods your brain, which in small doses can help with focus. But with chronic overthinking, your brain remains on high alert, and cortisol becomes toxic. Over time, this leads to brain fog, sleep disturbances, tension headaches, and even gut problems. Studies show that high cortisol levels shrink the hippocampus, involved in memory and learning, and impair the prefrontal cortex, making it harder to concentrate or make clear decisions. In short, overthinking puts your entire body in a state of chronic stress, with real physical consequences. When overthinking becomes chronic, it can literally rewire the architecture of your brain. The hippocampus, which helps form new memories and regulate emotions, shrinks under prolonged stress. The prefrontal cortex becomes less efficient, meaning your ability to think rationally, solve problems, and resist impulsive thoughts diminishes. Meanwhile, the amygdala, your brain's emotional alarm system, becomes more reactive, making you more sensitive to negative stimuli. This creates a feedback loop: overthinking to anxiety to avoidance to more overthinking. You start avoiding situations that might cause discomfort, which reduces your confidence and reinforces anxious patterns. The long-term impact: lower creativity, poor focus, emotional instability, and even a reduced capacity for joy and spontaneity. This is why managing thought patterns isn't just self-help buzzword. It's a cognitive necessity. Fortunately, the brain's plasticity works both ways. Just as you can wire in negative patterns, you can rewire healthier, more adaptive responses. The first step is awareness, noticing when you're stuck in a loop. Mindfulness meditation, for example, helps you observe your thoughts without judging them. Journaling allows you to externalize your mental chatter, turning overwhelming thoughts into concrete words that are easier to manage. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, uses tools like the CBT triangle, linking thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to help you reframe irrational beliefs. Simple breathing exercises help activate your parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol and restoring balance. You can also rewire your brain by cultivating new, positive thought circuits. Try replacing "what if I mess up" with "what if I do great." Every time you do this, you're forging a new mental pathway, and the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Even small daily actions like gratitude journaling, nature walks, and tech breaks give your brain a chance to reset. This isn't just about stopping thoughts, it's about redirecting them with intention and compassion. So next time your thoughts start spiraling, remember, you're not broken, your brain is simply doing what it's been trained to do. But with patience and practice, you can train it to do something better. Your thoughts shape your brain, and your brain shapes your experience. At EQ Bloom, our mission is to give you tools to understand and reshape that experience. If this video helped you, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who tends to live in their head a little too much. Next week, we'll be diving into how dopamine addiction hijacks your motivation, a deep dive into how modern life rewires your reward system. Until then, take a breath and take care of your inner world.